Welcome to the Astrology of October 2025, and this is for your sign, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. You can listen for all three. We've got some interesting stories going on in your sky, huge energies going on really intensely, especially in the second half of the month, around spiritual awakening or diving deeply into the mysteries of reality. But at the same time, some opportunities for some chunky money and changes in home, maybe even a property sale or purchase or relocation. We're going to draw your attention to this story as we go through the week by week program of what happens every week in the month of October. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. We're using the Western Tropical Zodiac and whole sign houses. And I love so much Sagittarius about this month for you, particularly Lord Jupiter, trying to rev up some extra money for you this month ahead. If you want to know a little bit about me before I get started, I literally am teaching my class probably just as soon as you see this drop on September 27th. Doors close midnight on the 26th. It's a 6-week live class on Zoom with me. Replays available. Weekly Q&A calls, private Facebook group. It's called Sky Reader. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. And we got some guest modules on Thursdays. And again, you get to keep the content whether you can attend or not. And that is a relocation astrology, grand aspect patterns in the chart, Sabian symbols, and also a zodiacal releasing an advanced timing tool, all coming up for you on this class. And it ends on November 1st. So if you have time, did you want to study with me, check out the description box under the video. I'll try to pin it in the comments. You'll see the link to the website. You can read about the course and you can enroll. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a day. It's been a day. So let's get going with you. Let's put it this way. Your chart is interesting because it's kind of got some signatures that are like once in a lifetime, as we are all going through some once in a lifetime vibrations here. So let's get started with the very basic story of the beginning of the month of October. And I want to say that as we start off that first 7 days of October, besides the full moon on October 6th, the month is starting off with a Mercury and a Jupiter square. And that has something to do with some information or news to do with chunky money. Now, in this condition, you'll feel the 28th, 29th of September, first couple of days of October, there is a kind of story where you could get money from a friend, a sibling one older. This could give you some information or news that you're just about to get some kind of bonus pay or extra check at work, some sign-on bonus, severance package. It could be work-related money, but it also can be money coming from some family members like that elder sibling. Another element of this is the ongoing backdrop of Jupiter in your 8th house, trining the North Node in the 4th, and that continually has activated the potential for more wealth and abundance through the family of origin, mom and dad, maybe grandparents, and maybe legacy transfer, money from the family coming down to you in bequeathments or inheritances. And the news out of the house of pennies from heaven, that's where Mercury sits, windfalls, might be the news that you're going to be receiving some money from somebody in your family. That's one possibility. Another element of this energy is some kind of conversation coming from somebody in your friendship circles, and it has to do with financial matters. And it could be that it should be positive. Jupiter's exalted and applying to Mercury, but it could also require you to take immediate action. And there may be some conversations coming about money with one of your children, should you have children, and that conversation as well could be particularly challenging and but still have you feeling like life is working out, even if your child needs money, or even if you have to bail a lover out financially. Something wants to be worked on here. So something wants to be improved. On October the 6th, we have a full moon at 14 degrees, and this is going to be in Aries. And well, a full moon is a big spotlight, a flashlight in your house of children and romantic partners and creativity and entrepreneurial endeavors and artistic projects. Well, that is true that the light is shining here. This is also a completion energy or fulfillment of some seed planting you did here on the 29th of March this spring, which kind of meant, like, if you can think back to the first couple of weeks of April, what was going on in your life? Did you plant a seed to get into a love relationship, start dating, go on a dating app? Did you plant seeds to get pregnant or have children? Did you plant seeds with your children? Did your children plant new seeds of new directions? Now, the full light of a full moon is going to amplify the continuation of those themes and bring it to a fullness. Sometimes fullness can be just fulfillment. Sometimes it doesn't look like it's completing, like the harvest is happening. You're taking the rewards of things you started 6 months ago. So there's a lot to be said about the fifth house being in the house of good fortune. And a full moon here is fulfillment and good fortune. And, you know, there's so many ways it could happen. This could be a little celebrity, a little bit of fame, a little bit of grace around fertility, children, romance, love, and creativity and entrepreneurial things. So good fortune, fulfillment happening at this time for you. And so what I love about this as well is that with Neptune here, it's almost like the power of your visualizations and manifestations on your old vision board or your journaling might actually be playing out for you at this time. And if you're somebody who is single, this could bring a new relationship into your life. It's not the most likely full moon to do it, but I'm not going to say it could not do it. Okay. Once we get a little action from Mars moving into your sign 6 weeks from now, and, you know, some tangoing coming up with Venus as well, we could see you getting involved in a love relationship, but it's more like a fulfillment of enjoyment in your life, finding the fun again. Maybe you lost track of fun and pure enjoyment and innocent pleasures. And on October the 7th through to the 21st, which is our second week, obviously, of the month, we have some interesting news stories showing up. Mercury will square Pluto. And Mercury and Pluto are going to be something along the lines of communications or information that is revealing something that was likely hidden. Well, Mercury's going to reveal it from the house of friends. Oops, October 7th. Let me double check where Mercury is. Uh-oh. Well, that doesn't help now, does it? Give me a minute. I just need to get your chart queued up so that I don't lose your ascendant like that. I want to get the ascendant closer to the beginning. Sorry about that, guys. Me and the software program have fights continually. Give me a second. Let's cue this back up. So when I'm rotating the dial, I don't want to lose your ascendant. I got to keep it in Sag over here. And if you're listening for your sun sign, career and purpose, moon sign, home and body, and where you live, domestic life. And then if you're listening for your rising, it's the avatar in the simulation. It's virtually everything about you. So here we go. So that's like a safe spot for that. So we're moving ahead by days. I want to show you Mercury square Pluto. Mercury will leave the sign of Libra, and then he will square Pluto. Mercury in Scorpio can be quite stealthy. He can be digging up secrets, revealing secrets. He will be in this stealthy place in your chart. The secrets are revealed or pondered or dug up. He'll be hanging out here for quite a bit of time, all the way through till October 29th. Now, let me just say, in the beginning of his entry into your 12th house, he is in a square to Pluto, and secrets about a sibling or siblings in general, maybe extended family, cousins, aunts, and uncles, or new understanding or knowledge about them that had heretofore been hidden from view may come to you. Sometimes Mercury can gin up a bit of wealth here, but that would be if you're somebody making money online in digital social media platforms and from foreign people and foreign shores, and maybe you might get a commercial contract for some new wealth. But for a lot of you, it's going to look a little bit like, oh my God, I didn't know that about my aunt, uncle, cousin, sibling, niece, nephew, or sibling. Some information disclosure going on here. Mercury will be in this part of your sky till almost the end of the month. And this is very auspicious for your nocturnal dreams and paying attention to messages from the gods, so to speak. So I encourage you to strongly lean in. Forget about those minor asteroids. It's from another video. Now I know you're going to ask me what they are, so let me get rid of them. I want you to lean into your intense journaling, meditating, yoga mat, breathing exercises, things you do alone at home in the midnight hour, contemplative time, solitude. This is what Mercury's good at, because he'll deliver some information to you from non-ordinary perceptional methods. If you want to use that dream journal as well, it's so good for you. You got that till the end of the month, till the 29th. October the 8th, or you could go traveling abroad. I should have said that. Mercury likes to protect travelers on the road, and this is distant shores and lands, and Mars is also gung-ho to get a backpack and get going. October the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, around that time, we have a glorious, beautiful energy flowing between an exalted Jupiter, who's in his highest state of power in their house of chunky money, unearned income, money from tax rebates, money from inheritances, money that doesn't come through your daily paycheck, money you share with others, shareholder in a company, right? Buy a stock, share money with your spouse, share money in spousal separation agreements, those kinds of money up here. Jupiter's exalted and powerful. He'll be here till next July, and he leans into Venus and he's giving her some love. And you'll still be feeling this like October 7th, 8th, till about the 10th. Okay, 7th to the 10th. The energy of this kind of a story could be very beneficial for your work, but it could almost be like you have enough money to leave behind some path of work that you no longer wish to do, rather than you're going to like get a raise or promotion. Because with the South Node and a fallen Venus, it's almost like you want to pull the plug on some career path that may be no longer fitting who you are, or some reputation path that no longer matters to you, or social standing, married, divorced, single, widowed, whatever. Something wants to change and you have to let go of the old status. Jupiter's supporting you to do that. He's like really leaning in with a cheerleader of energy, and Venus wants to be, she wants to honor him and make as much luck happen as she can possibly do. So could be some lucky also changes in career. There's no doubt about that. But then Jupiter's saying also, what about the money? So there may be some extra money coming at you from somebody in a position of authority. It could be a governmental body. It could be a father figure. It could be a boss. It could be, as I said, a severance package from work. But you might come into a chunk of money on this energy at this time, 7th to the 10th or so of October. Then on October the 11th, 12th-ish, Venus will cross out of Virgo and move into Libra. Let's move her over and talk about just before the crossing. She starts to work into a tug of war around the 10th, 11th, 12th. I'd say even a little earlier, 9th to the 11th. Venus is having a problem with Saturn, and it could look like I am finding myself not enjoying my work and I want to spend more time at home, or things that are going on in my home life are taking the joy out of my work life. Problems with your problems with a parent, an elderly grandparent in the home, and taking the enjoyment out of your career ambitions and career success stories, or even if you're retired, what you'd like to be doing in the world that people say, oh, look at her go. Look at that crocheting, and you can't get to it because there's some hardships in the home or difficulties in the home. So there is this push-pull. The hallmark of this is endurance and resilience. Keep on going and don't give up, right? This too shall pass, that kind of thing. And Saturn is retrograde, so this is nothing new. There's a destined fated shift going on regarding your home, and a lot of you, by the way, by next July, will likely relocate your premises of where you live because of that North Node story down there and the eclipses, or expand your home in some significant way. Then Venus crosses into Libra. Now, Libra is her home kingdom, and she'll do the crossing on the 13th, 14th as time zone dependent. And as she crosses over, she's going to be strong and she's going to be in her best behavior on your behalf all the way till November the 6th. So roughly October 13th to the November 6th timeframe, things to do with windfalls, pennies from heaven, the actualization of your hopes, dreams, and wishes, more fun social time in a balanced manner with friends and groups of belonging, maybe more profitability and increase in gains from a career path, maybe raises, promotions, a new job, a higher level of power, winning an award for something that you've been doing professionally. Venus gives you a lot of love. She can bring you some micro celebrity or real celebrity here as well. A little bit of a touch of glamour, a touch of fame. And she'll be up in this part of your sky, as I said, quite a long time. So you've got some support there through till November 6th. And this is a really good time, therefore, to choose to say yes. When people say, can I give you help? This is what we call benefactors and allies, support structures from almost like a big sister or big brother. And so a lot of people might step out of the woodwork and say, I'd love to help you. I'd like to support you. There's something you're doing. I want to give you a hand. So all you have to do is say, yes, thank you, please. And you'll notice that she's forming a air trine here. And that's beautiful energy around your ability to communicate, to relate to others, to market and sell, to teach and write, to hit the mark with an audience. Certainly this can look like a viral hit. Something that you put into the social media sphere goes viral. This forms a very fast moving kite, like a day or two, the 13th, 14th, 15th. But it does point to Neptune, who's like filmography, videography, Hollywood, modeling, glamour energy in the house of acting, performing, communicating, writing, sing, making things artistically, being an artist. So there's a nice real flair for something really working, especially if you're involved in artistic and creative projects or entrepreneurial businesses. Looks like a success window for you guys. And it might be brought on by help from someone else. This is also a house of its sibling one older who could also be stepping in to lend a hand. All right, as we continue forward, you're going to notice that we're heading into the next week, the 14th to the 21st. And as we do that, the sun will square Jupiter, just as Mercury did October 1st and 2nd. And why I bring that up is whatever happened in the first couple of days of October or the last day of September may connect to the second phase, October, like 16th, 17th. So the sun in Libra and squaring Jupiter in Cancer. And yes, you're going to feel this like the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th kind of thing. Starting to fade out by the 18th of October. So the thick of that third week has a lot to do with an opportunity, and it may be very exciting and it may be professional, and it may connect to greater chunks of money. It would likely not be like, let's hire you and give you this raise, but it could be, but it's more like, let me give you this great severance package, sign-on bonus, commission checks, perks, buying stock in the company, something like that. Financial help and a chunk of money given to you by a friend, a sibling, an ally, or a benefactor. Here's a chunk of money, enjoy it. And you say, sure, I'll take it. It's very nice. It's a very positive feeling at this time. The sun rules your house of God too. So the sun might be saying, okay, and can we put the focus on meaning? And so this could be like an exciting opportunity to go to university or travel with a friend or whatever. And all the circumstances financially line up as you get favors for these kinds of things or opportunities coming at you. On October the 19th, Mercury will conjunct Mars. Now, the two of them bumping into each other in your 12th house is a sign that you're going to have to make a decision about something while you're spending time usually in a contemplative and alone state. The other side is somebody's in the hospital because this is Mars and he's the accident guy or inflammation in a hospital, and you're going to get news. Somebody is in a hospital setting. It could be somebody connected to either Mercury or Mars's houses. And I look at Mercury's houses and I say, you could get some news that a spouse is not doing well and had to take a trip to the hospital. You could get some news that your boss is not doing well and is in the hospital, or somebody in the workspace. And Mars kind of would also maybe indicate that, that's where we're going to stay with that. I feel maybe one of your children isn't doing so well as well. This is not, don't worry about it. It's probably worried everybody here. So no one's going to die on this one. Trust me. Mars is in dignity. He's usually going to do his best to not be extremely difficult. But the news information cycle is what Mercury takes care of. And there's Mars, and he's got something to make you act and do actions and doing and decisions about stuff. Now, because it's flowing to the 4th house and the money house where Jupiter sits, there may be some precipitous need to take action and make decisions regarding matters to do with home, property, real estate, and money. It could even be money refinancing, selling a property, taking possession of the money from the sale. This stuff could be very intensely activated for you at this time. And again, this is pretty exact on the 19th, but give it a couple of days, 2 or 3 days before and after October 19th. On October the 21st, we have a new moon in Libra at 28 degrees of Libra. New moons are new beginnings and fresh starts, and you have one in Libra every year. This is going to happen up here in your 11th house of good spirit. A new fresh start and a new beginning is extra blessed for you because Venus is in dignity in this house of windfalls and good things that we want, good our dreams coming true. And like a fairy godmother, she's trying to give you a new beginning, but she might give you a new dream. There might be some news new vision, goal, dream of what you really want in your life that you hadn't really reflected on before. But if you want to follow that thread, within 6 months after the new moon, you could be very fulfilled and very successful because of the new vision or the new dream that's coming through this sky. And in this kind of condition, Jupiter is able to witness this new moon, and he's also able to therefore give it some blessings. And so it could also be very financially lucrative as a new vision, goal, dream, professional, profitable vocational direction. The money you make starting fresh, getting a new handle on money from work or money from career, money from an elder sibling, one above you, are other options. Then this new moon may unfold what it's really about within 2 weeks after, so pay attention, but up to 6 months after for the complete unfolding of all of the events the moon may produce for you. I do like Venus trining Pluto, which is its own kind of wealth yoga. So it's indicating a potential for increase of financial wellness in alignment with some goals, ambitions, and dreams. On the next week, the last week, the 21st to the end of the month, we start off that beginning of the story with the sun squaring Pluto. Remember, sun was squaring Jupiter October 16th, now it's squaring Pluto. That is because the sun, if you would like to watch, is crossing over into Scorpio. Now, Mars is there. Mars has been in Scorpio since September the 22nd and doesn't leave till November the 3rd. And he's in his home kingdom. And this is where you, as I said, people might go into hospitals with inflammation, fevers, heat, problems like that, but it's also Mars getting you to be working very hard and passionately driven in any kind of projects you might be wanting to work on behind the scenes. Otherwise, he loves to travel, and he could be traveling, like taking a trip of some kind to distant shores and far off lands. And as a sun, the owner of your ninth house moves into this part of the chart. If you are going to be traveling abroad, then you're more likely to do those journeys after October 23rd and through till the end of the month and into, in fact, the third week of November. With the sun shining here in private time, alone time, bed pleasures time, it's what you do alone that brings you enjoyment, and that you want to dive into that. That's what's really activated with the sun in this placement. But Mars is here and Mercury's here, so there's a lot of other energies going on. And again, it keeps bringing us back to property, land, home, real estate, and money. So let's get to that in this next segment. You'll notice that as Mercury keeps moving forward, he's starting to make a beautiful blue triangle called it's really a gorgeous energy. It's called a miniature grand trine, and it's fortunate, and it's flowing, and it's easy. And it has to do with matters of home, elders in the home, maybe elders with dementia in the home, has to do with real estate property, it has to do with alone time in the home. It has to do with constraint in the home and destined changes in your home. And it also connects to maybe the availability of banking, loans, finances, mortgages, monies, inheritances that you can possess in this story. I don't know, with Uranus in your 7th house, Jupiter in your 8th, and all that stuff in the 4th, some of you might be looking at a change of relationship status. And maybe this is all about dividing the assets, dividing the home, dividing the property, dividing the monies you share with a significant other, and in the middle of an ending. But it is decisions and actions you're taking from a deep well of introspection about how you want to handle this. And it would be advisable to almost take a pilgrimage or something, or to meditate into decision making rather than just go follow a friend's advice or do a pro-con list. Go into your soul for decisions and actions you make at this time. If there was an inheritance, and the sun will put a light on it, and if someone is passing in your family, it would be a Saturnian elder. It would be someone quite old, and that would lead to some money coming your way as well. And you could see evidence of that in the last week of October. Finally, the Mars will pick up what Mercury picked. So Mercury makes the triangle happen, and then Mars follows suit. This doesn't mean it's much different than everything I said. Mercury is the information you need, and then Mars is the actions and decisions you take based on the information. Are you going to buy a home, sell a home, leave your home, refinance your home, petition for that inheritance, divide the assets with a partner as you separate? Those are the information, like you need to do that. And then the action is Mars later on. So the first half of the last week is very mercurial. The second half is the action plan and let's get going. Finally, Mercury moves out of your sign of Scorpio, everyone, and into Sagittarius. He'll be here for a very long time because of retrogradation. Sag, he's in your sign. Now, he'll be here till the 19th of November. He only makes it about 6 degrees in. So only early born Sages, first 6-7 degrees of Sag can really feel his presence necessarily. Sag, sun, moon, and rising. But he's going to try to activate all of you. And it has to do with reconsiderations of your identity in relationship to your spiritual life, addiction, self-undoing. And I should have brought that up. If you're belabored by wine or weed or any kind of self-undoing addiction, anything like that, Mars in your 12th house is good at helping you cut it away through motivation and willpower and determined decisions, right, to quit, especially with support from Saturn. So you've got a lot of good energy there, September 22nd to November 3rd, to quit the bad habit. And what I like about Mercury, he comes into your sign with some information, some understanding, some news. And then by November 19th, he'll back up into Scorpio and, really readdress some of those areas of self-undoing yet again. Now, one thing about Mercury in your first house, because you're going to feel it as a change, your mind is going to be very active. You may have incredible new ideas. You may be very busy writing, speaking, communicating, negotiating contracts, signing on dotted lines. But Mercury's not in great shape in your sign, Sagittarius. He is more like the meme maker or the speech like, I have a dream, like a Martin Luther King speech, but he doesn't have the execution plan, the details, step 1 and step 2, and therefore be careful if you're going to do any dealing, wheeling, signing, that your optimistic, fiery nature gets someone else to look at the process that you're engaging in. As he first enters here, he's going to be opposite Uranus, or could be a big surprise in your life connected to a long-term committed love partner. And because this energy is also in a flow to Pluto, it may involve money. And it may involve wealth. It could also be an unexpected surprise from a sibling, one younger than you, or siblings in general. And it could be an unexpected event connected to a travel opportunity, connected to a sibling, or connected to a love partner, a significant love partner. All right, that's what I've got, or a second-born child. All right. So that's what I've got for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Check me out, a Sky Reader. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm sharing Renn Butler's Archetypal Universe Guide, the books on my shelf. My dear friend and colleague, he's such a great teacher. He's teaching in October, because some of you will miss my entry for Sky Reader, but I would like you to know about his class. It's amazing. It's 6 months long. It's live. It's replays available. There's breaks for, holidays, of course. And it's learning the archetypal energy, especially of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus and Saturn, the outer, slower moving planets, and relative to everything in your chart, relative to how those planets activate your moon. How do you dream the sky at night? How are these archetypes playing out at your birth, and how do they show up in your life as a result? And this is a deep class. You could use this class to learn enough to become an archetypal astrologer for a profession, and you can also use it for yourself. So please tell Renn I sent you, because I'll put the link to his class in my description box, because you're going to get a significant discount if you let him know that I sent you, because his early bird code expired before I got time to promote him. And so he's going to give you guys a really good discount rate as long as you tell him Lori sent you. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Check everything about me. Patreon community, who gets this early access ad free ahead of you. My Substack community, where I write about world astrology and all signs content, is below. Substack, Pluto Chronicles, my magazine, basically. I'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao, and have a wonderful month of October.